This commercial plane was ready to land, but the accident happened just a few meters from the runway. A bird hit the cockpit screen hard. It was fortunate that the screen did not break and the plane landed safely, but not all planes are as lucky as this one. Once again, viewers were delighted with the videos of past empires. US Airways Flight 1549 was ready for takeoff at New York Airport. It was January 15, 2009 and it was 3:25 in the afternoon. A minute later, the plane took off successfully and the pilot also sent the takeoff report to the control tower as per routine. The plane was an Airbus A320 with 150 passengers and 5 crew members on board. For the next 2 minutes, the plane continued to gain altitude, but at an altitude of 2,818 feet, the pilot saw a large flock of Canada geese coming in its path. Time was very short and it was not possible to turn the plane around. Then the same thing happened. No pilot wants to face a fate in their life. These birds not only hit the plane but also its powerful turbofan engine sucked them into it. Normally, in such situations, the plane's engine fails and the plane can be landed at a nearby airport with the help of the other engine. But in the case of Flight 1549, the birds had sucked into both the plane's engines and unfortunately, at an altitude of only 2,800 feet, the plane had lost power from both its engines. Considering their position and altitude, the pilots showed courage and landed the plane in the Hudson River. The boats present at the scene came to the foreign plane and all the passengers and crew were rescued. This incident is also remembered as the miracle in the Hudson, and it was the first and probably the last such incident in aviation history in which there was not a single casualty due to an engine failure, even at such a low altitude. Despite such advanced technology, airports around the world, no specific solution has been found for this problem yet. It was still a whole flock of birds. Even a single bird can cause significant damage to the entire plane. Not only birds, but when planes are at the airport, several accidents have been reported so far during loading and unloading, in which the jet engine pulls anything near it. Let me tell you here. Before the jet engine, thrust was generated by installing piston engines without propellers on planes. One problem with these normal engines was that they could not generate that much thrust. Obviously, due to low thrust, the speed of the plane also decreased and they could not even rise to high altitudes. The world's first jet engine was built in 1930. Through this technology, a turbine draws air, compresses it, and then mixes this compressed air with fuel and burns it. After burning, the pressure inside the engine increases considerably, which pushes the aircraft forward rapidly. Compared to engines, jet engines are also lighter, more fuel efficient, have more thrust, and are much quieter than piston engines. For example, if we talk about the Airbus A320 engine, a single engine sucks 1,250 kg of air into itself in a second. This air enters from the front side of the engine. 1,250 kg means that if the engine is running, it can easily pull anything in front of it, which can be a luggage, a tree, a crew member, or even a small car. In this video, you can see that an E-170 aircraft is parked in the parking lot and its engine is running. A cone accidentally gets sucked into the engine by the hand of a crew member in the tunnel, and a fireball immediately comes out of the other side. Now we have talked about the pressure of the air entering the jet engine. The pressure that comes out from the backside of the engine is called thrust. This is much higher than the pressure entering the engine, about 100 times more. The thrust coming out of the engine of the Airbus A320 produces a thrust of 127,000 kg. And if we talk about both engines together, this thrust is 254,000 kg. This is the same thrust as the weight of an average train engine. That is, it would not be wrong to say that if a train engine is parked behind the plane during takeoff, it can easily overturn. You can guess this from this video in which this Boeing 777 is parked for takeoff and it overturns the entire truck standing behind it. Apart from this, we have seen many such videos in which tourists on the beach near San Martin Airport fall due to jet engine thrust, out of which one woman has died so far. After watching these videos, we must have a good idea of the thrust of the jet engine. To avoid these accidents, airport authorities have made several stops on when they can come in front of the plane's engine and how much distance they can maintain. The biggest risk occurs during luggage loading because at that time the plane's engine is also turned on and luggage loading is also done from its front side. To avoid this danger, luggage is now loaded through automatic conveyor belts at modern airports. In addition, a tunnel is often installed at the time of boarding, which is attached directly to the door of the plane. Its purpose is not to provide luxury to passengers, but it is installed to avoid accidents. Airport authorities have a strict SOP that nothing should be placed in front of the engine at the time of plane boarding, and only when all the staff has done their work and moved to the side, the engine should be turned on. A sign or mark is also placed on the turbine of the plane engine for the same reason, so that we can easily see that the turbine is rotating during rotation. This is a measure that can prevent losses due to human error. But do they not understand birds? They are speechless. According to an estimate, every year the aviation industry loses 120 crores due to birds alone. It costs dollars. Aviation engineers and airport authorities have been looking for a solution to this problem for the past several decades, but so far it has not been successful. But it is not that no efforts are being made to keep birds away from planes. This is the reason why we do not see trees in airport compounds, especially near the runways, because they are the trees on which birds sit or build their nests. Airports are perhaps the only place where efforts are made to scare birds away on a mass level. Somewhere they are scared by firing gunshots, somewhere statues are erected, or somewhere the sounds of predatory animals are played on loudspeakers. At many airports, hunting dogs and others are kept so that they do not let any bird enter the compound. Along with this, no such thing is left at airports that can attract birds, such as open ponds from which birds can drink water. Even now, artificial using intelligence, robotic birds are also being created that will keep other birds away from the airport. Now, you might be thinking that instead of worrying so much, why not put a protective net on the plane's engine itself? This will prevent not only birds but also anything from entering the engine. In fact, these jet engines suck in so much air. If a mesh or net is placed in front of them, it will disturb the airflow to a great extent. In addition, the bird will certainly not be able to enter the engine, but due to air drag, it will stick to the same net, which will further disturb the airflow. Most birds only collide with the plane during takeoff and landing because they cannot fly at high altitudes. However, according to reports, falcons have been seen at an altitude of 15,000 feet, and a type of duck surprisingly flies at an altitude of 23,000 feet during migration. These are the birds that there is nothing special to keep away from the plane. I hope you will like and share this video of past empires. Thank you very much for your loving comments. I will see you in the next wonderful video.